Hello all, welcome to raw-trainings.com. In this session, we'll discuss about what is generative AI and we'll get into outline. So before understanding generative AI, so as it is a foundation session on the generative AI, we'll try to understand from the basic how does it start, what is intelligence, what is natural intelligence, what is artificial intelligence, and there are a couple of terminologies we have to understand to get more insight into Gen AI. So we'll try to understand from a scenario and also the current models which we have it, and also the list of tools where a developer or a consultant or analyst can use them to make use of the Gen AI functionalities. Okay, so let's start with the first one. What is intelligence? So we know the term called artificial intelligence, but what is intelligence all about? So intelligence is nothing but an ability to understand or apply knowledge to the situations where you're in, or taking a decision or understanding what you have heard. So this is all about intelligence, right? So generally, like for example, learning from an experience. Let us say you read a book, and next time when you're reading it, so based on your previous experience, you can understand in a very easier manner. And based on the, let us say you have the mathematics formula, based on the formula, you'll come to a conclusion saying that okay, this occurred because of this, and this is how we have to apply. Or maybe understanding a language and emotions, right? Based on the expression of other person, you can understand whether they are sad, happy, and like that. And solving the problems or adapting to situations. Let us say if your situation is different and you need to adapt a current situation, right? So these all things comes based on your experience or learning or behavioral understanding. Couple of things. That is what intelligence is all about. Now, what is natural intelligence? So generally, as we are talking about, the human beings, or not just only human beings, any living thing on the earth generally have their own intelligence. Of course, we will not get into deeper of other living organisms, but let's say from the human point of view, so we have ability to think, learn, see, hear, right? And we also adapt to the according to the situations. So examples like the first one is like for any human, so they learn the intelligence by birth from their parents or from the siblings like that, and also they learn the emotions, right? And also they adapt to according situations, and the judgment, learning from the few examples, and listening, hearing, seeing, watching. So based on the things, you have an intelligence, right? Like today you have done some work, tomorrow it will be faster. Today it took 1 hour. Maybe if you're trying to do the same problem tomorrow, it will be faster. Let us say you initially when you're driving it takes 30 days to learn a driving, but after a couple of days, it will become expert, right? So these are things of a natural intelligence for a human being, right? Now, coming to the artificial intelligence. So even natural intelligence for human, you can understand that there are a couple of things where human can take a decision. It is not based on the experience, they can take a decision, and they can smell it, which is a natural intelligence. They can touch it, which is a natural intelligence. They can hear it, they can watch it, they can see it, right? So these are all a couple of natural intelligence which we have as a human. Now, coming to AI, the term which is becoming common across every area of industry right now, and it has been lot number of tools. Even though it was AI was there in a longer, AI was there for many years, but right now we have the real time applications which are used in a daily application scenarios, right? Coming from a MS Word or ERP applications or even the mobiles, across even the TV or the photos, everywhere you have AI. So now we need to understand what is this AI and why, how important it is for us, right? So AI is nothing but a science of making machines think, learn, and act like humans. Nothing but you want to make your machines intelligent, smarter, similar to human beings. So what we do is as AI. So using AI generally coming to technically speaking, if you say a product is AI enabled, what does it mean? It means that it has intelligence inside it. It takes decision on its own. That's what it's all about, right? So it's about creating a software and system that can understand, see, watch, make decisions, learn from experience like this. So AI is nothing but making your machine smarter, similar to human being. Of course, more than human being, some scenarios, not every time. So we should consider that human is always superior than AI, but there are chances AI may overcome human, but let's see. Wait and watch for that. Now, coming to next slide. So these are the couple of terms we have to understand carefully to get into the Gen AI terminology. So we understood what is AI. AI is nothing but making your particular machine smarter by a specific program, right? Now, then what it is ML? Then what is DL, right? So before this one, you can see one particular slide. So these are the building blocks of it. So the top level component is called AI. So within that AI, they have specializations of AI. So that is where it went on. So now the starting one, which we are considering, the AI is nothing but which mimics human intelligence, nothing but you want to build your products which has intelligence similar to human. And within that, so like we know that a system cannot take decisions on its own, right? If it's a normal computer, it cannot take decisions on its own. Whatever you programmed for, it will work accordingly. But when you apply some machine learning kind of logic, let us say coming to the human intelligence, they learn it from experiences, right? So similarly, if you want your machine to learn from your experiences, that is what a machine learning is all about. So machine learning is all about learning from the data. Let us say initially for solving a problem, it took 5 minutes. And if you're trying to provide some sample data and you want to fine tune your particular problem solving skills, so the machine may reduce the amount from 5 minutes to 3 minutes, and maybe after 1 month, it will just take 1 second to solve the problem. So that is what it's all about. So you're applying your intelligence to a machine and it is learning from the data, and based on that you will get a faster response. That is what machine learning is all about. Again, further subdivision of machine learning, it's like deep learning. So it's like, so in the human brain we have a neural networks, right? Neurons, so they are interconnected, the small receptors, they're interconnected, and which has a n number of layers of functionalities. Nothing but, let us say, when you want to take a decision, you can't take a decision within a fraction of second, right? Of course we take it, but you think a lot from all perspectives, like what will happen if you take this one, what will happen if I take other decision, why should I take decision, when should I take decision. This couple of things will come into picture. So applying more deeper learning to your particular problem solving skill, that is where the deep learning will come into picture. Again, further division, natural language processing, wherein it so rather than just solving a problem, it's like, you want to provide answers according to similar to human, like natural language processing. It understands the language. It's not just reading a sentence or something like that. It is applying intelligence to your particular input and providing the response according to the way which human responses. That is where the natural language process comes into picture. So now our concentration is mostly on the inner three parts: Gen AI, LLM, and RAG. Okay, so you can consider like artificial is the top level agenda of the program, and within the subdivision you have machine learning, where you're applying intelligence to your particular program so that it learns from the previous data, which is not efficient as compared to NLP or deep learning. But still, it learns from the previous data. Deep learning is again some more efficiency, right? Like let us say, if consider machine learning is 1 time faster, deep learning is 2 times faster, NLP is 3 times faster. And of course, it may vary. So the functionality of machine learning may differ and the functionality of NLP may differ. Nothing but you may use NLP when you have to deal with a language processing kind of thing. You may use machine learning when you want to just segregate the data on high level. So it depends upon the functionality which you want to consider. Okay. So now considering the other current trend terminology, generative AI. What is generative AI is all about? The first four things, it's all about, making your computer intelligent or making your program intelligent so that you'll get a better output. So we always get some kind of result. You just provide some input and the machine behaves in appropriate manner. But in the generative AI, what exactly it will do is, let us say you provide a book which is having 1,000 pages of data, and you want to get the essence of the book in just one page, right? So the generative AI reads 1,000 pages for you and provides the essence in one page. That's it. So generative AI generates the content. Let us say you can ask a generative AI, can you just explain me about a computer in 10 words? It just gives the answer in 10 words. You can also ask the generative AI, like, can you tell about the history of India in underlines? Yes, it will provide that information for us. But how does it get it? Similar to Google search, right? So when you ask a question in Google, so what happens is it provides a list of links. So in the Google search engine, it will not provide a summation of information. It just provides a list of sources where you can get some information. But generative AI is not like that. It does not provide any source of information, but it will generate a content for us based on the question what we provide. You just ask a question, it will provide an answer. That's it. It will not provide a list of links similar to what you get in the Google. It just provides a list. It just provides a full content, that direct answer rather than references. Now, within the generative AI, we have a couple of things called large language model and the like retrieval augment generation. But what it is all about? So, so this LLM, so generative AI is a top level category of this kind of particular like generative content, and LLM is nothing but one of the model of LLM, one of the model of Gen AI, similar to like a machine learning, which l- which is one of the branches of AI, wherein it learns from the data. This LLM is also one branch of Gen AI, where it predicts nothing but based on the question what you ask, it has to search the sources and provides a result. That is what this LLM, large language model, is all about. Now, coming to RAG, right? Retrieval Augment Generation. What it is all about. So, Retrieval Augment Generation is all about whatever the result which you get it may not be current trend. Let us say you got a book which was printed in 2000, and then you're trying to ask the questions about that particular, if you want to ask a question from that based on that particular book, right? So you may not get the current trend information. Now the current year is 2025. The book was written in 2000, and definitely this 25 years gap is there. So, but in the in the RAG one, what happens is it not only searches the old work, it also searches the latest print, latest maybe 2025 data, and provides the information to you. So while retrieving it, it will also take current trend into consideration. So generally, this large language models, which will be trained on a larger set of data, which requires huge computation power. So they may not get updated every day or every minute, right? So generally, maybe 1 month or 2 years, maybe it has its own set of timeline. So that's the reason the LLM may not be providing the exact information according to the current trend. So in those scenarios, let us say in enterprise applications, if at all, if you want to apply your Gen AI logic, so definitely you require a current information, isn't it? So in those scenarios, you may prefer to use LLM with RAG concept so that you'll get the current latest information. So now we'll just get back to our Gen AI terminologies. So we'll again revise it once more. So the first terminology which we have discussed is AI, artificial intelligence, which enables the machine to mimic human intelligence and behavior also, right? Machine learning is also one of the branch of AI where a system learns based on the data, nothing but based on the experience, based on the problem solving skills, whatever it is. So it will try to enhance its functionality. That is what machine learning is all about. Now, coming to deep learning, it is again sub branch of ML. So that uses layered network for learning purpose. Now, coming to the NLP, so it is also other branch of DL where it understands the language content also. The way you ask questions, it understands the language, not just the syntactical kind of thing. It understands the context and it understands the language and then provides a result. Let us say Google translation, right? It translates a language from one language to another language based on this natural language like philosophy. Like, you may have a particular noun in one language. How do you translate it? It is not about transliteration. It's not just converting a word, converting a letters. It's converting the meaning also, right? That is what NLP is all about. So now coming to the Gen AI, the generative AI, the name itself says it generates the content. This artificial intelligence capability, which has a capability to generate the content. The content can be, as per our current trends, we have three kinds of content, right? Text, audio, images. Audio, when I say audio, it can be video also. So text, images, audio, video. Based on the patterns it has learned from the data. So for generative AI, what is the source? So the language models, large language model which you're talking about, you can consider it as a data where that is a source provider where it reads the data from the LLM and provides a result. So it's a deep learning model trained on vast amount of text to understand and generate content, right? Now, retrieval augmented generation combines retrieval with generation to provide accurate context aware responses. So it also remembers your previous question. Let us say when you're getting to an argument, the next answer depends upon the previous argument. So RAG remembers that. LLM does not have that capability. So RAG remembers what was your previous question and what is the current answer. And if let us if you're trying to ask some questions based on the previous answer, yes, RAG can answer that. So RAG is all about that. Okay. Now let us consider sample scenarios as we have discussed about these couple of terms, right? But which comes first? How does it start with, right? So my simple question I'm asking to a Gen AI is, we'll discuss this slide again. We'll just start with a very simple one, flow summary first. So my question is, who invented zero? This is my question to the generative AI. So how does it start? First of all, it has to understand which language is the question is, and based on that, it'll get into another like, specific library of LLM, and it predicts and forms a raw answer from the training knowledge. Nothing but, so LLM is having a source of data repository, like which has information about, assume that it has the data of all the books which are there in the world. Now it will try to find out, okay, it will read all the books and try to find out who invented zero. Based on that, it provides a result for us. So it converts into natural informative response. And if you enable RAG, so what will happen is, maybe let us say, if this is like as per your earlier data before 2025, maybe someone invented zero, but let us say in 2025 other person came into picture, then the RAG provides the latest data. If not, yes, what was there earlier, it will provide that information. So the final answer from the RAG, as no one was there after our Brahmagupta, so definitely it will provide the latest answer. So the concept of a zero as a number was first formalized by the Indian mathematician Brahmagupta in the 7th century CE. He developed rules for arithmetic operations involving zero, marking a major milestone in mathematics. So now here, if you observe, it started with the question, and NLP understand which language, and then LLM try to find out based on the training knowledge, training content which it is having, and then it provides a response. And if you want to apply a polishing to that, and if you want to fine tune your answer, then you apply RAG, then you'll get the answer. So coming to the technology point of view, it's almost similar, which we discussed again. You provide input. NLP understands the structure and meaning of your question, identifies that the user is asking about an invention of zero and a person or a culture associated with it, and then searches its training data, books, article, encyclopedia, many things, and generates a likely answer like this one. Brahmagupta, an Indian mathematician, is credited with formalizing the concept of zero in the 7th century. Now, generative AI, what does it do? It provides, like, when you get a chatbot, right? You get a response like in a please. If you get a response in a pleasing manner, you'll get satisfied, and you try to ask more questions. You try to engage with that particular bot for longer time, right? So that's why the response you expect as a human being is always a pleasant one. So it has to provide in a proper understanding manner so that you can continue further. So generative AI polishes your content. Zero as a number was first formalized by Brahmagupta in the 7th century CE, who defined its mathematical rules. And the last one, retrieval-augmented generation, looks up real, and again it tries to find out, looks up reliable historical sources to verify or update the LLM's answer, especially if there's a new search or alternative views. It then merges this with the generative response for accuracy. So it's like, first you do it, and then you try to polish it. Let us say if there is any latest information other than this, then you apply this and you'll get the output. So these are some of the sample scenarios considering the technology wise. Now we'll see here. So we are talking about generative AI as of now. So generative AI is a generic term, but who are the source providers? Nothing but like when we have a search engines, we have Microsoft Bing or maybe Google. These are a couple of search engines. In a similar in LLM model, who are the service providers who are providing those particular databases? So one of the top, I mean, I cannot say top, but these are a couple of model providers which are there in the market. OpenAI, next Anthropic, Google DeepMind, Meta, Facebook one, and Cohere, and even the Twitter related one, X, Grok. So these are a couple of models which are there from these particular vendors, and they are famous for a specific kind of thing, like OpenAI, which is having a notable models called GPT-4, which is famous for Chat GPT, and this one focus on safety and alignment. And Google DeepMind, which is like even it got into your Google Gmail, it got into your search everywhere. You have a Google Gemini which is used. Meta, which is there in your WhatsApp also, and the other one Cohere, it is enterprise related one, and even Oracle uses Cohere in their particular Gen AI capabilities for the Oracle ERP. And then the Grok, we know that like when you open a Twitter, everywhere you can see the Grok. If you want to validate that particular tweet, you can just ask Grok, please provide an answer. It will provide the answer for us, right? And now the next slide. So now, as of now, we just understood some information on the terminology, but practically, how can I use a Gen AI in my day-to-day work? Based on your relative area of work, let us say if you want to find out an answer for a specific question, then you can use tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, and other things, right? And if you want to generate an image, you can use appropriate tools which I mentioned here. And of course, a lot number of tools are there, but just a very shorter version of the tools. And if you want to generate a code, let us say if you're a developer and you want to generate a code for a specific program, then you can use GitHub Copilot or Amazon Code Whisper, other things, and Cursor, right? And yeah, video, we can use these things: video, audio, presentation, designs, couple of things. And also, so these are just a tools, right? These are just the tools. Now, for developers, right? Like if at all, if you want to build the applications based on the Gen AI capabilities, yes, number of platforms are there. You can see, observe here, right? Google, Microsoft, Azure, AWS, and even the Oracle also, it is having its own set of platform for the Gen AI, right? So now we'll just see some examples. I'll just show you. So now this is the Chat GPT website, chatgpt.com. You can just write in a question saying that same question, right? Like who invented zero? I'll just write like this. You should be able to get an answer. And based on the format, it may provide you the information, right? And it is providing the information in a tablet format. Let us say I'll just ask a question in a different manner. Who invented zero? Please answer. Please answer in single line. Let's see what does it provide. That's it. You got an answer. It provides a good amount of content, but let us say you're not interested in reading all of them. You want a very concise answer. Just ask the question in a concise manner. It provides that. Now, this is Gemini, like the Google one, right? Similar one. So yeah, it started with Aryabhatta, Brahmagupta, it went on, right? Now, other one, these are textual search engines, right? And here you can observe here, you can upload a file, and based on that, you can also generate a content. I'll show you one more thing here. You can click on this plus symbol, and you can also add a photo, and based on that, you can also ask a question. Okay. And now the other one, Sora, which generates an image, which generates an image. Let's say I want to generate an image of peacock. Let's see what happens. It may take a couple of seconds. You can see here, it just started the activity. And so we can just navigate another website for now. So let us say we have one more website, Firefly from Adobe, which generates the video. So as of now, as it is a free version, it is generating a video of only 5 seconds, but you'll have a proprietary version, a license-based version, and it will be for a larger content, right? You can say you can upgrade to pro version, right? Generate a video on IPL. Let's see, what does it say? It may take a couple of seconds, as I said, and this open API website. So for developers to use it, OpenAPI has its own set of platform where you can access the OpenAPI, and it has its own charge. Based on that, you can use it in your applications. Okay, so we'll just see the result of this one, Sora. Okay, it is taking time, so then we'll ignore. And yeah, so you can see here, there's a charge. Maybe the free version was over, that's why it is asking for a charge. Yeah, you have only 2 complementary generations. Fine. So this is all about, like list of tools which we have in the market. Maybe in the next sessions, what we do is we'll try to provide more insight on a specific tool-based concept so that we'll get more clarity. Okay. So thank you. It's all about the Gen AI intro as of now. Thank you.